I visited the Universal Ostrich Farm resistance in Edgewood, BC, where Canadians have camped for months, bracing for a federal raid to cull 400 ostriches regardless of their health after an avian flu outbreak in December 2024.
They say they're culling sick ostriches. There's not a one of these ostriches that's sick. Every one of them is healthy.
CFIA actually, I think, believe are even, more tyrannical than our actual government itself.
All of these animals have never been tested. And they're not allowed to under threat of fine.
This is not a problem of Canada. This is a problem of humanity.
It's about loss of human rights, basically.
I believe that is an overreach of our government.
Now we have a shot rooster which has entered through his ear. It's gone down his neck. It's one of our biggest, beautiful roosters, and we're just going to fully investigate today.
After a 9-hour overnight drive from Calgary through the Rockies, winding roads, I arrived at the farm during a heartbreaking moment. That morning, farmers found an ostrich dead, seemingly shot. It wasn't the first time. Last month, another was killed by unknown assailants.
Something has gone terribly wrong in the governance of the country, and
Meet Segal Farrell, a Canadian of South African descent, camping at the farm to protect the ostriches from authorities. Before explaining why he opposes the government's cull order, Farrell, who is part of the security team, was tasked with a preliminary investigation into the ostrich death.
the bird that was shot a few weeks back was shot from the side. And we reasonably sort of worked out from the direction the bird was in that the shot came from further down the road. Now I think we need to try and find the projectile or bullet or whatever it was. Some of our vehicles have been up and down here before, but this is not very recent. This looks like it's very new. Okay, so somebody drove down here and stopped. And that is behind the bushes. So presumably I'm just suspicion that they did not want to be seen from the farm. Okay. So is that a footprint? There.
Evidence suggested a vehicle stopped near a hidden spot by the farm's fence, close to the body. It's more likely someone crossed the fence and shot the ostrich than a drone strike, as some speculated online. Perhaps the drone was used to scoop out the area to ensure no eyewitnesses. The RCMP's investigation is underway, and protesters await clarity on who is killing the birds. This death is graver than the last, as it happened the same night RCMP leadership said that they are monitoring the camp to ensure no criminal behavior. A statement widely reported on the media, inadvertently framing the families and ordinary Canadians there as threats under surveillance.
There's no more greater loving unity and gentleness and kindness. There's a world out there that wants to kill us. We know that. We've known this. First Nations have known this since Columbus and the conquistadors before them. We know what they can do, but they don't know what we can do.
This is also a story about the RCMP's double standard and recklessness when dealing with protest movements that challenge the Canadian government, not a foreign one. It shows how public opinion is being manipulated to portray peaceful families, children, and everyday Canadians on this farm exercising their right to protest as dangerous people in need of surveillance.
My concern is that the Canada Security Establishment is looking for a way that they can actually remove this camp completely, remove the people from watching. The media coverage that will be there, social media type of coverage, if independent people are all video recording, watching, will be a real slight against the CFIA and this stamping out policy, killing healthy birds, and certainly birds which have not been tested. So there is no reason to believe that they are infected in any way. They're happy to cull them, and then ostensibly move them through the region to a municipal dump, but yet they're supposed to be contaminated, dangerous biohazard material. You can't have it both ways. They either are not infected and they should be able to carry on their lives. And with the farm, this farm is not a meat farm, so they are effectively a living experimental farm. Or they're highly infectious, in which case they need to be eliminated. But in that case, there should be no reason and no arguments in why they can't test them, and why the farmer himself can't test them to show that they've infected. The farmer would gladly, voluntarily cull the birds if they were infected. You don't want to spread infection to anybody or any other animals.
After breaking the news and filming the initial investigation, I met the camp's people to understand their reasons for opposing the call. Mostly families, they camp peacefully, praying for the best. Nothing seemed fringe or dangerous, just respectful ordinary folks.
Is it just about the birds, or is there something more to it? Let's go find out.
Our RCMP knows that this is silly, that we're not retesting. Why can't we retest? And I know it's because we have antibodies. We have research here. They don't want our research here. Otherwise, none of this makes sense, and this is why the world continues to watch.
As people, why are we letting this happen? We shouldn't let this happen. I really hate to think of what's going to be in 10 years if we let this happen.
I'm here to support the ostriches and the killing of these birds that are not tested to have the avian flu. They are free of it. I believe that is an overreach of our government. These birds are not being served for food. Their eggs are being sent to Japan for experimental use. Some of these birds are 30 years old, and these have become pets of the owners. I think it's such an embarrassment that these birds, the government is calling to kill them.
That's what it's about. It's about celebrating. We're here celebrating our right to live, and we're standing for the right for these ostriches to live.
These behind me here, these are our relatives. And when one relative is hurting, we must come to their aid and join and pray with them and sit with them and come together in unity. Humanity only works when we sit together. It does not work any other way. So my people, my elders always say, gather the people, always sit with the people, and they will remember who they are. And sometimes the people look like this.
The last message is just to realize out there that culling healthy animals has got no moral value whatsoever.
The day it ended with joyful news. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sent a letter to Canadian officials, urging them to spare the ostriches for research.
The United States Department of Health and Human Services, including the National Institutes of Health and the Food and Drug Administration, would like to offer our full support and assistance in conducting diagnostic testing and undertaking a long-term body of research. The United States government has been tracking H5N1 and studying it very intensively to prepare for a potential epidemic, including working hard on vaccines and studying the interaction between the virus and the immune system. We believe significant scientific knowledge may be garnered from following the ostriches in a controlled environment at Universal Ostrich Farm. While we understand the importance of preventing the spread of H5N1, we believe the discussion to cull the entire flock of approximately 400 ostriches made nearly 6 months after the initial positive test results will not influence the current health status of surviving birds.
The crowd cheered and slept with hope. But the Canadian Food Inspection Agency doesn't seem like budging, stating last they will cull the birds at a time and place of their choosing. If this raid happens, as protesters fear due to RCMP's warnings of arrests, the farm's remote location, size, protester numbers, and 400 ostriches will demand major police resources. Prosecutors could later bill farmers for costs, as seen in past resistance cases. If you think I should return to capture this historic resistance, please help cover costs at mediabizergan.com/donate. If I hit the $3,000 needed for expenses, time, and effort, I'll hit back. If you're satisfied with this report and you don't think I'm needed back, please comment below on what topics I should cover next. Thank you. Thank you for your support.